guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to take a moment to talk about spirituality and my opinion on what it is. Spirituality honestly isn't even a way of I don't see it as a trend or as this new thing that people are now getting into. I honestly just feel like it's the way that we're supposed to be living our lives, but we just forgot completely. We've just been numb since the moment that we came out of the womb. And honestly, I feel like every single thing that's put on this earth right now, that's, put by man on this earth, is to distract us from our spiritual path. Spirituality, I don't feel like it's a way of living life, but it's the way that life should be lived. Without spirituality, there isn't anything. There is no meaning to this. And maybe there isn't a meaning to begin with. But not having spirituality, you're pretty much just a zombie. You know what I mean? It's like people aren't even living. They're just almost like a machine, going from topic to topic on things that really don't matter whatsoever at the end of the day. And I don't know. I had my spiritual awakening when I was pretty young. I don't really remember how long ago it was. But I didn't even realize what was happening. I just knew something in me had shifted and, things were different from then on. I just became more sensitive and slowly I started shedding things that no longer served me. I stopped going out to parties. I stopped drinking. I lost a lot of my friends and people would call me a party pooper and there's a bunch of different names, and people would literally get offensive because I didn't want to go out anymore. I didn't want to numb myself anymore. I just wanted to, be chill, I guess. I don't know. And it was really hard, honestly, especially in this culture and in this society, to be part of something for so long and then wake up one day and be like, wait, this isn't what I want to do anymore. It can be shocking to the people that are closest to you as well, because it might not be in their path to wake up right now, even though they may have a bunch of tattoos of sacred geometry and everything. No matter the amount of tattoos you have, piercings you have, whatever you have, it doesn't make you any more spiritual than someone else. Spirituality is in here, it's not out here. Some people may look like they're super woke, but then you have a conversation with them and they're not. So, you really don't think your age matters, because we all know that we've been here 1,000 times before. It isn't our first time here, it's not our first rodeo. So, it really baffles me when someone's like, oh, you're too young to be talking about all this stuff, or, oh, what do you know? You haven't been through anything. First of all, you have no idea what I've been through. You have no idea how old I am. And even if you did know my age, how many times have I been here before? How many times have you been here before? It's we keep living over and over again and not questioning it. In which lifetime is the lifetime to wake the fuck up? This one. I choose this lifetime to wake up, and I choose this lifetime to do it right. Even though I might not know what the right way is, I trust that the universe is going to guide me to where I need to be. And I'm going to keep putting it out there that I'm ready to evolve and that I'm ready to wake up more. When you realize that the coffee doesn't hit right anymore. It's when you realize that those cigarettes are actually making you feel like shit. It's when you realize that eating dead meat is making you dead inside. It's when you realize that being numb to life actually isn't that fun. It's when you realize that being drunk is just a waste of fucking time. It's when you realize that the connections you make while you're drunk aren't real connections. It's when you realize that the people that are hanging around you are just using you for your presence. It's when you realize they don't really care about your well-being. They just care that you're there in physical form so they look less lonely around other people. It's when you start to ponder upon purpose. It's when you realize that there's so much more to life. It's when you start to realize that every single thing put in the supermarket is there to fucking burn you down. Every piece of processed food, every piece of advertisement is here to steer you off of your path. And it's like having these realizations, they make you angry. They make you like want to revolt. Like, how does no one else realize this is what you think? Eventually you'll start to meet other people that are on the same wavelength as you and that do realize these things. But it can be very frustrating to wake up all alone. I feel like perspectives are like one of the most important things to like understand and grasp at this time and space. Like, it's always been really crazy to me to like think about that two people can be looking at the same thing and have two completely different opinions of it, or see it in two completely different ways. And I'm like so blessed to be aware of this at such an early age, because something that really bothers me is when my mom, for example, labels something as normal, or like she's like, that's not normal, or you're so not normal. Like, do you understand how vague that word is? Normal? Like, what is the definition of normal? I need to Google that, because I honestly like don't even know what the definition of normal is. Normal, according to Google, means conforming to something that is expected or typical. To show it's programming, something that you expect. Everyone expects something completely different. Therefore, every single person's definition or perspective on what is normal is completely different. Isn't that crazy? Like, every single person's. And it just comes to show how you create your own reality. Like, what you perceive to be normal is your reality. I just think, I don't know, there's just so much to it. It's such a broad topic. But what I'm coming at, it's so important to know your truth and to be aware of someone else's truth and to honor that and respect that without losing your own truth. So when you have an opinion on something, or when you know there's something you want to do with your life and this is your path and this is what you're taking, someone else might not agree with that and might think that is completely bonkers. But are you going to lose yourself because of their perspective, or are you just going to acknowledge it and be aware of it, but know in your heart that you're doing the right thing? What is driving you is not the same force that drives them, and that's okay. And people might not be able to see where you're at, but as long as you know where you're at, then that's all that matters. I'm really starting to find that getting to know yourself is probably the most important thing there is. I keep getting lost in other people, and it's such a trap, because people leave, but you know who's never going to leave you? Is you. You are never going to leave you. And if you do leave yourself, then that's probably just the saddest love story ever, because you are your lover and you're with you through every single moment, through the hardest moments, through all these years. It's you with you. And you're really the only person that you can count on, because if you can't count on yourself, then don't expect to count on anyone else. Really be true with yourself and get to know yourself. You go through the hardest moments with yourself, as well as you go through the best and most blissful moments with yourself. We really do walk this path alone, and as loving as it sounds to, have someone here with you along the way, if you don't know yourself, you'll never get to know them. I'm going to share with you guys a really scary experience that I had when I was younger. I think I was about like 16 years old. And it's when I first started doing yoga. And I just really started opening up my energy bodies, but I didn't know this at the time. So a lot of past karma was being brought up. And so it all started like this one night. I was in my room, and there was this shadow like right next to me, and someone sitting up, and I was sitting up on my bed, so I thought it was me. I had a candle on, so I look over at the shadow, and I move, and the shadow doesn't move, and I'm like, okay, weird. Suddenly it's just like it's on its side, and it just turns and looks at me. And I got really freaked out, but honestly, I feel like if it happened now, I would probably have been more scared than I was at the time for some reason. But I just like blew out the candle and called it a night. And then this other night, I was talking to my mom, sitting in my room, and I had the door open, and in the living room, there's this glass door. And at night, when the lights are on, the glass door acts as like a mirror, so it reflects what's inside. So as I'm talking to my mom, I'm standing by my door, and I'm looking at the glass frame because my mom's in her room, which is like next to the glass frame. I don't know, why I'm standing there, but I'm just standing there talking to her. On the reflection, there's this lady dressed in all white, standing by the front door, just staring at me. She just like freaked out, and I told my mom, and I don't even know if she believed me, honestly. And then I had a dream, and I was experiencing a lot of sleep paralysis at the time, and if you've ever had sleep paralysis, you know how fucking terrifying it is. So as I was experiencing sleep paralysis, there was like a few really weird ones, but one of them was this being floating like by my TV, which is right in front of me. So I think like I'm fully awake, right? But I'm obviously not. And there's this being floating in front of me, lying down, but floating, and the legs are bent. And as I become aware of it, it starts bending its legs up and down and coming closer and closer towards me until it like, I don't know, like it like hits me through my face or something, and I wake up. And at that point, I was just like, okay, like I can't fucking do this. Like we need to figure something out. So I don't know, somehow I ended up seeing a hypnotherapist, and she hypnotized me, and I went into this state of trance, and she guided me through my last life. And apparently this being that I was seeing I believe it was my sister. I'm not completely sure, because honestly I was scared as I was going into this trance, and I wasn't fully ready to experience everything because I was just scared. I didn't know what to expect, so I kind of held myself back. But what I got out of it is that this being was related to me almost like a sister, and she died, and I knew that she was dying, and I might have let her die, or I might have let her drown. I don't know. It was part of my fault, so that's why she came into this life, because it was part of my karma to make amends with her. I met up with her, like, after I saw this experience, still under hypnotherapy. I like met up with her at a lake, and I told her, I'm like, I'm really sorry, please forgive me. And ever since then, I haven't, met that being again. So it's like I really had to make peace. But I think going through that experience like really opened my eyes to like, whoa, there is so much more to life. And it's like really hard to tell this to someone who's never had that kind of experience, because they're like, oh, you're just making it up, or like, oh, you're just crazy. Like, I feel like it's so easy to say, oh, just, to use words such as crazy or making it up, because then the brain doesn't have to go through any work to try and understand things. So, whenever I have some sort of like paranormal activity, which I have still a few to this day, instead of like telling myself that I'm just crazy, I try to really process it and understand it. Because yeah, it's easy to just be like, oh, I'm just crazy, and not think about it. But I feel like the real work is in trying to grasp it and to understand what it means. So, like spirituality isn't just being positively and ignoring what's going on in the real world. I feel like as much as I would love to like retreat into a forest and never talk to anyone again, I feel like the real work to do is out here. And I feel like a big part of spirituality is being able to see things from different perspectives and being able to accept that other people's realities are different than your own. So I might see something while this other person next to me is looking at the same thing but sees it completely different. And I have to honor that and respect that and not get confused or not, skew my reality up, still hold on to what is my truth while accepting this other person's truth. And knowing that this is their truth, knowing that they're not crazy, knowing that I'm not crazy. Maybe we are all just fucking crazy, I don't know. It's like, I feel like it's telling the truth. It's telling the truth that's not pretty. It's telling the truth to yourself when you least want to hear it. It's telling the truth to the person in front of you when they least want to hear it. It's not about dressing things up. It's not about making things sound nice and sugarcoating things, because at the end of the day, there's no growth in that. So it's like, what is there more growth in? That's what spirituality is. how can you grow? I might wake up one morning and be like, I just feel fucked right now. I don't even want to do my yoga practice, and I won't do it. Does that make me any less spiritual? I don't know, maybe. But, you know, it's not about being perfect. It's about being real with yourself and being real with the people around you and knowing who you are. It's about getting to know yourself. It's about not numbing yourself. It's about coming to life. Just being alive. I'll probably like make more videos on this subject because I don't know, I just feel like there is so much more to be talked about, but I just rambled on for quite a while. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.